but it's like a dilemma because I want to be remembered in a way that there's like, oh, she's got size, her style when I go to events and like photo shoots as well. But at the same time, it's like, no, I want comfort when I, go into photo shoots, especially when it's like a long day shoot. Hi, I'm Siria, and this is my Get to Know Me with KLAT. Well, so basically I finished my MA in photography right before starting COVID. So I got like stuck in Spain while my boyfriend was here. So he's also like a very creative person. So we kind of like exchanged that like inspiration moments. We tried to do like Zooms, obviously every day. So we kind of like had that moment to get inspired. And then obviously because I love photography from a perspective of an artist, I spent my time during lockdown photographing every single day, every corner of my house, like literally the same objects but with different lighting. So kind of like experimenting really. And then that's why when like I built my portfolio like during COVID. Yeah, I think so, because obviously that's what I literally did, just photograph every day and, experiment really. I was like, well, something that I probably point out is like, I use myself as a model as well, which it was really like challenging, because obviously I think everyone has like, their own flaws, in front of camera. They don't really like, being recorded or like exposed. And then for myself it was the same thing, because I spent loads of time during like my career, like the degree or like the master's, photographing others and not putting myself in front of the camera. So that was like a massive challenge for me as well. And then after that I kind of like got more confidence in what I was doing, but also like in myself. So that was like, I think, a good experiment for like, in the challenging time of COVID, just had that like peace of mind as well, I think. Literally what I'm gonna say is like my first option, but like, well, it's Harry Styles, that's for sure. I mean, he's alive, so that's a good, I could maybe do it one day, who knows? But because I kind of like his style as well, because he's really aesthetic. Like all the time when he dresses is like, I don't know, I'm quite like a fan, okay? So so I think that's my like the first option I choose, I guess. I think the people, I'd say, because Ibiza is really international, right? And Cardiff is really like, I mean, it's not that international, but at the same time, there's a lot of people like from other cultures as well. And what I found out is like, I think I got in touch with people from the UK living in Ibiza for some reason. I think I came across them on Instagram probably. And so I think it's the people really like, they are, in Ibiza you can find like lots of different cultures as well, but it's not that, I don't know how to say it, it's more like, it's not one community of people, it's just like all spread around the island, but at the same time it's like, you can find, your own community. I mean, it's a small place anyway. So I think Cardiff and Ibiza, they both quite like small places, but they've got like their own communities really like, different in it. So yeah. I don't think I think at some point during the lockdown in COVID, we, in one of those like Zoom meetings we had, we tried to, like write music together, like, songs. And I think we done quite a few songs, but like never it wasn't really intentional. It's like we both of us we are like really creative, so we are interested in different fields of in the arts. So he's also very. I think he since he met me, I probably say he was more interested in photography or started seeing the world in a different with a different perspective, more related into like the photography world. So, but it never was like anything intentional. It wasn't that, exchange, as you said. Although I really like to probably try to learn guitar or to play any instruments. So yeah, we might do. I don't know. Maybe this is the starting point. Well, I think well, I think my favorite, I'd say favorite because it's like the most stunning pieces I've ever photographed is for Boutique de Nana actually, and she's an amazing stylist. The first time I met her was like during an editorial shoot we did on the Sustainable Studio, the one they had before in the warehouse, and it was for my magazine actually. It was an editorial to publish in the magazine, and I kind of like seen the pieces hanging, and I was like, I have no idea how these are gonna look like on the models because they were like really different, and for me it was like, I don't think it really makes sense, but obviously I'm not the one to say that because I'm not a stylist, but I think she's got that eye for like matching like patterns and stuff, so it's like she can create things that you can never imagine working, So that's kind of like I think my last campaign with her for her brand and a mix of Adidas vintage clothes, that was the most stunning pieces I've ever probably photographed, really, because they are like Sudanese fabrics, like traditional fabrics mixed with vintage clothes for like Adidas vintage clothes. So I was like amazed by how like she styled that, and it worked, and I was like, I need this outfit for myself. So yeah, I think that's it really. So in Ibiza we've got lots of like different tales, I'd say, more than like, I don't know, like real folklore, stuff. But like I think one of them is like about a witch who lives in like one of the most remote islands next to Ibiza, which is called Esvedra. It's a big island, and it's surrounded by lots of like mythological, it's got this aura of like magic. So I think I'd like to be that witch, I think, because in contact with nature and surrounded by like the sea and all the creatures, I love the sea. I'm like a mermaid, I think. That's hard. It'd probably be quite a lot, but I think I kind of like, because, well, in my magazine, Dom is the one who's in charge of like the literature part, and I'm the more like the creative director, so I'm more like into the art part. So when we received a submission of like literature, it goes his way. And I think in art, obviously, is very like subjective, so you can really see if it's something like too, strange. But like I remember Dom telling me about one pitch, and I think I kind of like read it at some point, and it was about like I think it was like about a utopian like world or something, but it kind of like made real sense in like how world works right now. So it was like a futuristic kind of pitch, but at the same time it felt like could be today, you know what I mean? It was like Black Mirror kind of thing. So it wasn't too, strange, I'd say, but at the same time it felt like this person made a point, you know, like maybe he can see the future or something, and we are living that reality today. I do like experimenting, I think, with fashion, and to be fair, I think I'm always like trying to wear, I don't know, I build my own style, you know, in fashion when I go to events and stuff, and I think I kind of like have a style, but I like to experiment, as I said, and try different styles and different things, but probably the most questionable thing is that I bought in a charity shop, I think it was months ago really, a pair of trousers, but it was like granny trousers, I'd say, I call them, but it was because they're really comfortable, and for like, you know, shootings you need to wear comfortable clothes, but it's like a dilemma because I want to be remembered in a way that there's like, oh, she's got size, you know, her style when I go to events and like photo shoots as well, but at the same time it's like, no, I want comfort when I, you know, go into photo shoots, especially when it's like a long day shoot. So I bought those trousers and I think I used them twice, and now I'm like, that wasn't a great idea, to be fair, so I just discard them. But yeah. Well, I think, because it's not a self-portrait, is it? It's just a portrait. But as a self-portrait, sorry about that. Okay, a self-portrait, then that makes sense. I think I use, that's a good question. Something artistic, like, I don't know, probably something with nature, definitely. Something that, you know, I'll create a mix of something nature, like something like about the sea, probably the waves, because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a journey as well, you know. The wave could be my journey, I think. And then probably something red, because I love red, probably the heart, or I don't know. It's a really tough question, to be fair, but probably the smiley one, but like with blush on it, because I'm kind of like, you know, timid sometimes. But I'm also an extrovert. It depends on the day, so something extroverted, like the one with glasses, like a cool one, you know, something like that. It's a mix. Well, I think, well, the It's My Child program was really good. It was a blast, really, to work with them, because that was like my very first experience in like, well, obviously in like the film scene as well, like the TV, and it was really good to, you know, have the experience of working with such a trainee scheme for, you know, to improve my skills as well as a photographer. And it was like the first time doing, well, obviously the documentary was about a group of 4 women promoting the music scene in Wales, in Cardiff especially. So the big event, it was a gig they put together with different artists. So I was the still photographer for the night. And that was my first ever gig, like literally stills photography. It was my first time. And it went amazing. I really, really enjoyed the day. And I think after that, like, obviously I shared the content on Instagram, the stills I took. And some of the artists were obviously sharing as well. So I think that was like the starting point where, you know, I kind of like, I was introduced in like the music scene in Cardiff. And after that, I just started like getting commissions in that area, like the music scene. So it was quite accidental, sorry. But yeah, I was really, I'm glad I did that, you know, experience with them, with It's My Shout, because it was my first door open in the music scene in Cardiff. Well, I think it definitely say that I'm getting confident. That's a really good word, I think, because at the beginning, obviously, as a creative, I think we all have that self-doubt, and I think my camera would say that I improved that skill, and now I'm like, I come across really like, well, I think, confident photographer, and that I have a lot to learn still, because obviously it's a learning curve, so we all, as creatives, have to acknowledge that obviously we have lots of things to learn, but that's a really good journey, I think, as well. So my camera will be really proud of myself, I think. And because I do the work, obviously, because she doesn't have the eye for it. I just, I just click the button, as they say. Well, I think probably I'd say painting, because there's something that I've always did when I was a kid. I got after school, I used to go to that like painting classes, so that's something that I've always been connected in a way. But I can't really, I think I've spent a lot of time learning photography and other, creative stuff that I kind of like forgot about how relaxing painting is. And I think I kind of like, I'll probably say painting, because it's like, something that I've always been interested in. Yeah, and it's like freedom, isn't it? And you can create from like scratch, and it's like, a blank canvas is also like a, is related to photography as well, I think, in a way. So I could maybe even paint my own pictures.